Hello. So today we are going to start talking about the rock cycle, okay? So this is notes that we're going to do. There's a few different things we're going to do in these notes. So we're going to talk about three different types of rock and what they are, how they're formed, okay? We're going to talk about sediment. So sediments are small pieces of dirt, rock, sand, things like that that can build up to form new rocks, okay? And then I'm going to give you examples of each type of rock that we're going to talk about today, all right? So follow along, fill it in as I fill in. I'm going to use different colors. You don't have to, but I just want some separation between the different types of rocks, okay? So the first type of rock we're going to talk about is igneous rock, okay? So igneous rock, we're going to put this one up here. All right. The main thing about igneous rock that you need to know is that it's formed from magma or lava cooling, okay? So after a volcano erupts, we have all this magma or lava. Eventually it's going to cool, all right? And when it cools, it creates crystals, all right? So we're going to put formed from magma slash lava cooling. Now I'm just going to write creates crystals. So one thing I do want you to know is that the faster that it cools, the bigger the crystals are going to be in the rock. All right. Some examples of igneous rock is pumice. Okay, another one, obsidian. And lastly, granite. So you may have heard of this last one, granite. This is what countertops are often made out of. Nice kitchen countertops are made out of granite. And if you do look at the countertop, sometimes you can see the crystals inside of them, and that's an igneous rock, okay? Next, we're gonna move on to metamorphic. So we're gonna put metamorphic right here. Metamorphic rock is formed under high heat or pressure. So normally this takes place under the Earth's crust. That's where it's going to take place. So, let me grab my other pen. Sorry, guys. Formed under high heat and pressure. Oh, let me. Here's, you know how to spell pressure. So metamorphic rock is formed under high heat and pressure. And that's the main thing you need to know about that rock. Some examples. This one has a weird spelling. You pronounce that gneiss, okay? Another one is marble, so that can be also on a countertop, nice looking countertops. And schist is our last one, okay? So those are our three examples that we have. Igneous rock is formed from lava or magma cooling, okay? The faster it cools, the bigger the crystals we have. Metamorphic is formed under high heat or pressure. This normally takes place under Earth's crust. Lastly, we have sedimentary. Okay. So, sedimentary rock is formed through sediment buildup. So hence the name, sediments make these rocks up. So little pieces of sand and dirt and all kind of things get broken down, and then finally they're put together to form a new rock. These are sedimentary rocks, okay? Some examples of sedimentary rocks are shale, okay, limestone, and we just have two examples for that one, all right? So with these arrows, we're going to fill in, for example, how does a metamorphic rock change into an igneous rock? We would put that right there. How does an igneous rock change into a metamorphic rock? We would put that right there. Okay, so we're going to fill these arrows in with how these rocks transform into one another. All right, I'm going to move this a little bit. We're going to start with igneous to metamorphic. So for an igneous rock to turn into a metamorphic rock, we have to have heat and pressure, of course. All right. For a metamorphic rock to turn igneous, we have to have melting. So we'd have to have lava or some hot source come over it. It would have to melt down, and then we could form our crystals. Okay. For a metamorphic rock to turn sedimentary, we need erosion. Okay, we're just going to put erosion. For a sedimentary to turn metamorphic, the key word is heat and pressure. All right. And lastly, for a sedimentary rock to turn igneous, we need melting again. It'd have to be melted down, allowed to recool, that way the crystals are formed. And then for igneous rock to turn sedimentary, we need erosion. All right. So right here, I'm gonna make this yellow. It's our alert, okay? I'll make this yellow. It's up to you, you don't have to. I just like adding color. So what we need to know is that any type of rock, so any rock can transform to another. And I'll put another type, sorry. So any of these rocks can transform into another one. We can go here to here, igneous to metamorphic, metamorphic to sedimentary, metamorphic to igneous. So any rock can transform into another one as long as we have the right conditions, okay? So that's key to know. On Q3, you're gonna have to be able to identify, I started with a metamorphic rock, this happened, what kind of rock did it turn into? So if it said I started with metamorphic and lava came over the top and then it cooled again, you would know it went from metamorphic to igneous, okay? And we'll do some practice with that. These are just intro notes. So up here, where we have formation of sediment, we're gonna do some definitions. So there's 3 words that you need to know the definition of. And they all deal with sedimentary, okay? So if you want to draw a little arrow, all these things deal with sedimentary. So the first one is compaction. Okay? So compaction is pressure from rocks and soil that reduce sediment size. So if you think about it, all the pressure from our earth, okay, if we have a rock that's in our crust, it's gonna have some pressure on it, okay? Eventually it's gonna break down into smaller pieces and smaller pieces and smaller pieces. So soil does the same. Also fossils can be broken down. A lot of time we find fossils in sedimentary rock for the reason that they're built underneath the crust, okay? Our next one is cementation. So cementation is the hardening of, I'm just gonna write sed, that means sediment, into a rock. All right. So if you throw a rock, it'll break into smaller pieces. If we kept throwing it, it would eventually break, continue to break, continue to break. So all rocks are built up from sediment, all right? So cementation is like the glue that holds the rock together, okay? So under heat, pressure, basically the sediments are gonna join together. Cementation just means like the gluing together of sediments to make a bigger rock, okay? The last one is sedimentation. Kind of similar in sound. This is sediment buildup. Make sure you can see. After rain and water. Okay. So sedimentation is after sediments are pushed through a stream. So if a stream's running and running and running, it's going to build up sediment, okay? When those sediments finally settle outside of the water, that's sedimentation, okay? They're deposited somewhere. They're no longer flowing in the water, so that's what sedimentation is. All right, so we have our notes complete. Like I said, please feel free to pause, go back. Make sure you're listening to things I'm telling you guys. It's important that you know a little bit about each rock to complete the activity we're going to do tomorrow. Next, you should have this page, okay? Over here, you're going to tell me what type of rock these pictures would represent, and then I want you to go through and answer these questions, okay? Both of these will be due at the end of class. If you do not finish, it will be homework, but I want these questions done. Whenever you're done, I do need to check both, so please make sure you're working. Thank you guys. Have a good day.